So today we are going to be looking at HuoHuo in the series that I always do, which is what you need to consider before you summon on, which is today HuoHuo and Ho for sure. And I know I'm probably saying the name wrong. Give me a second. I promise I'll get it right for the guide. But we're going to be looking at Ho, all the stuff that she can do, and look at the traces that got announced today, and also look at something that's very important in her kit that we need to talk about. And then of course going over all of the banners that are going to be coming out very soon and all of the important highlights that we need to talk about, because yes, HuoHuo isn't really the best and the craziest character to come out. Yes, she is a very important one because she is going to be a healer, but there's going to be a lot of other crazy units for sure, especially for all different types of accounts, because of course not everyone's account is the same and everyone has different needs and wants. So we're going to be talking about all of that in this video. So going ahead and starting to talk about HuoHuo, she is a wind abundance character, which of course already sets her above a lot of other characters just because she is a healer, she is a sustain unit, and at that she's also a buffer. So yes, she already has a pretty nice kit and a very strong kit already. She has adjacent healing, she has energy regen with also attack boosting on ult. A lot of really good stuff that's already coming her way, and a very solid character as we've seen already. And of course, let's go ahead and look at the traces real quick on what she can do, because of course, just like Fu Xuan, when we ended up seeing her traces, it kind of made her even more busted than she already was. So let's go ahead and see what HuoHuo can do with her traces. For the first one is going to be when the battle starts, HuoHuo gains divine provision, lasting for a certain number of turns. Alright, so I'm pretty sure this is going to be her stack mechanic if I'm not wrong, when it comes to healing other units, when it becomes their turn, and also when it comes to them using their ultimate. I may be wrong, it may be the other thing, but I'm pretty sure I said it is right. The next one is going to be increase the chance to resist crowd control debuffs. Amazing already. Of course, you don't want to have your sustain unit or any of your units really at that fact get crowd controlled and get them, you know, either sealed or get them frozen, all that type of stuff. Having this innately in a sustainer is a really freaking good thing to have. So really good traits so far. And then for the last one, when her talent is triggered to heal allies, HuoHuo regenerates energy. That's still good as well. Her talent is going to trigger on ultimate and also the next person's turn. So if you have a really speedy team, you're going to end up getting a lot of HuoHuo's energy back up. It is going to allow you to get energy for the full team and also the attack buff. So yes, that is already a very strong thing for her to have, and she just seems like a very strong unit. Now, one thing I do want to point out really quickly that we didn't know off rip, they didn't tell us this on the stream, is that with her skill, she dispels one debuff from the single ally and immediately restores their HP with healing adjacent. So not only are you healing adjacently, which you really want to have HuoHuo on either side of your team, either the far left or the far right. That way you're always able to heal the other members of your team without having to have HuoHuo take up that one spot. But the main thing is whoever you're singling down onto whoever you want to heal your targets for, you're going to be able to cleanse. That's a very strong thing for her to have, and for her to be able to give energy, attack, cleansing, adjacent healing, and all that stuff tied to her. She's going to be an absolutely amazing character for sure. And for a lot of people, a sustain unit like this is pretty much perfect. Like, you're going to be going crazy when it comes to keeping your team alive and also providing them extra resources, extra damage, extra everything, so that you're able to do as much damage as you possibly want to when you have her on the team. So she is by far looking like a very strong pickup with all the characters in mind that we do need to talk about. But let's go ahead and start talking about all the characters that are going to be coming out, should be coming out, and the ones you should be looking at for sure. So besides HuoHuo and her being a, of course, abundance unit, again, like I said, puts her above a lot of other characters because she is a sustain unit. We also have Argenti coming out, who is going to be in the second half of the patch with Hanya as well. Oh, wrong character, but with Hanya as well. And with these two characters on the same banner, of course, we have to keep them together in value. And Hanya is a very nice support unit for sure, giving you damage buffs when it comes to whatever enemy has burden, giving you skill points, giving you speed boosts. There's a lot of really cool stuff that comes from Hanya, so she is going to be an absolutely amazing character. And to have a harmony character before, of course, the one character we're going to talk about later on in this video, she's going to be very strong, and she seems like already a really nice character with her kit, being able to boost damage, speed, all that type of stuff, giving skill points for a lot of teams. A very good comfort character and a very strong character from what we're going to see with all the units that we have in the current game. And of course, Argenti. Now, in Argenti's case, in all honesty, right now versus him and HuoHuo, I do want to say that even though the 4 stars on Argenti's banner are better, I do want to say that HuoHuo kind of does beat Argenti out in the role of what accounts would need what. Having a physical DPS that's Argenti, that's AoE centered, would be really nice in a lot of different situations, whether it goes to grinding, MOC, Simulated Universe, Swarm, all that type of stuff. Really nice thing to have. But DPSs, as everyone knows or should know at this point, are the first ones to get rotated out. And I'm not going to say that power creep is going to come and instantly take Argenti out of the meta instantly, because of course there's characters like Sela, Jing Yuan, Kafka, Blade, all these other characters that are doing so well with the age that they have. And you know, right now we're doing pretty good when it comes to power creep. I do think Argenti, if you do end up picking him up, will be a very nice DPS to have. I just want to say that for sure HuoHuo does offer a lot more in terms of her role, in terms of what she offers, compared to Argenti being a cut and dry DPS character, and that's pretty much it. He doesn't really help with anything else. He is that really selfish character that kind of wants so many buffs, and then you can just go ham on whatever enemies are in front of him. That's pretty much the gist of it. And then of course, like I said, Hanya is a really nice support character, but right now HuoHuo does seem like a lot better when it comes to her versus Argenti and Hanya. And then of course we do need to talk about Silverwolf coming out as well as a rerun, which is going to be a very strong banner, and I mean a very strong one for not only veterans but also newer players that are coming into Honkai Star Rail. Of course, I do want to make this a point in the video where Silverwolf, in all honesty, and isn't to say that she's bad, and I think y'all already know where I'm going with this, but she has seen a decrease in usage, and that is mainly for the players that are, you know, building up their DPSs since the start of the game. A lot of these veteran players do have multiple DPSs for different elements, so lightning, wind, physical, quantum, imaginary. With all the units that have come out, there's kind of no reason for Silverwolf at this point, because now you're building characters into whatever weakness the enemy has in MOC. So Silverwolf is dropping in usage, but for a lot of the newer players, for a lot of veteran players, she's still a very strong unit and a very busted unit, just because of how many debuffs that she can add when it comes to attack reduction, defense reduction, speed reduction, all type bonuses to damage. And then you got the busted 4-star lineup that we see here with Lynx, Asta, and Hanya. Overall, this banner is going to have the craziest amount of value for any player to summon on, because every multi that you do in this banner will be guaranteed to be good. That's basically it, unless you do have that thing where yes, 4-stars are not guaranteed to drop from the guaranteed pool. You make it an off rate, but then you're guaranteed another 4-star after that. That is a on rate banner 4-star, so you're always going to end up getting something really nice from this banner when you summon for those 4-stars, because Lynx is really nice, Asta's an amazing support character, and Hanya seems like she's amazing as well. And then you have that character right there, which is Silverwolf, who is going to save you money. I do think Silverwolf is a save money type character, because you don't have to invest in so many different elements, because you can end up brute forcing it if you build your team correctly with Silverwolf, so that you don't have to have another team for that other side. You can just brute force with that one single team, no matter what you use, and you can have Silverwolf on that team. The only downside, yes, it is a single target debuff and a single target ultimate, but she makes up with it. With all the stuff that she gives your team, with all the different bonuses that you can get in terms of damage from her debuffs, is 1000% worth it. She is such an amazing character, and a very strong one at that. So you should definitely take a look at this banner if you're thinking of summoning between HuoHuo, Argenti, and Silverwolf, because yes, Silverwolf's banner is absolutely amazing. It has a fat ton of value tied to it, because not only is she one of the best debuffers in the game, she also has one of the best 4-star banner lineups as well. And then of course we do need to talk about, not only in this patch, but also Ruan Mei and Dr.Ratio. Now Ruan Mei, I think, is by far on everyone's list when it comes to, oh my god, we need to get this character, just because yes, she's going to be Ice Harmony, and for us to get our first 5-star Harmony character, that is a big deal, because the only one we have right now is going to be Bronya, and we all know how busted Bronya is. Bronya is basically fighting for, or not Bronya's fighting, the teams are fighting for Bronya to be on their team, because she's just that universal, that good, that amazing. Every single team wants her, every single DPS wants her on the team. So to see Ruan Mei, a limited Harmony character versus a standard character, she has a lot to live up to, and she by far has everyone on red alert when it comes to, we need this character. This character is going to be on the second team or whatever team, then Bronya could be on the other. Overall, just really crazy things that might happen with Ruan Mei. By far, I think for sure, if you're not going to summon for HuoHuo, and you know that for sure because you might have 2 sustains already built up, waiting for Argenti's banner to summon on, wait a minute, wait for the stream to come out for Ruan Mei and also Dr.Ratio, and then you get a better idea of not only those characters but also the rerun that might happen when it comes to 1.6. So a lot of really crazy stuff that can happen in 1.6, and we already got that dev note as well that I saw in the morning, where we're getting different types of end game, battle pass extension, all that type of stuff. There is so much going on in that patch that I am so excited to deep dive into all the new modes and all the new things that we're gonna get. I am so happy about that. Now for Dr.Ratio, they are kind of a little in a weird spot for me when it comes to value. I don't want to say, you know, don't summon on this character, don't do this, don't do that, but with the competition that he has and him being most likely a single target DPS for imaginary, is going to be really hard to beat when you have characters like Don Hung in the game, who has adjacent hitting, skill point refund, all this damage that comes out at the same time. Dr.Ratio has a fat ton of competition to go towards, and if they go the more support route like Topaz and Numby, with them being Hunt and he's just maybe the support version for an imaginary character, maybe they work together with Don Hung. I don't know. There's a lot of really cool stuff that can happen from this. And not only that, if the pattern stays true, Dr.Ratio should come with Shui Yi, and with Shui Yi being a destruction quantum unit, we are now able to build a mono quantum team that isn't as skill point intensive as Sele and Qing Cui, and isn't way too defense oriented like Lynx and Fu Xuan on the same team, because you do have a problem one way or another. And having Shui Yi, I think we're finally going to get that perfect mono quantum team for sure, and that's going to be super exciting. So these are all the things that are going to be coming out when it comes to HuoHuo's banner, all the way up into 1.6, and also there might be a rerun. We don't know for sure what it might be in 1.6. Of course, Luocha, Jing Yuan, all these other characters that might come out have a possibility of rerunning, so we'll have to wait and see what we get there. Most likely Luocha or Jing Yuan might be the next ones, because Jing Yuan might get it because of course they skipped over him in terms of release date, and he would be the erudition character of this patch, because of course we have a Hunt character and a Harmony character, so he wouldn't be stepping on any toes when he releases. And then it could be also Luocha, same thing, we have a Harmony character and a Hunt character, and with that being said, Abundance doesn't get their toe stepped either, and he's not summoning, or he's not with the same banners of with HuoHuo fighting for that Abundance spot. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to when it comes to reruns and all these characters and the amount of value that they have on their banners or 4-stars. There's a lot of really crazy stuff for new players, for veterans alike. So other than that, let me know who you are going to be summoning on, whether it becomes 1.5, 1.6, some of the reruns in 1.5, some of the reruns in 1.6. Maybe you're not summoning at all and waiting for 2.0. We'll have to see. But let me know what you think in the comments. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the next one, and peace.